So how do you cut a client onboarding process from weeks into the minutes? In this video, I'm Abi Modi, an AI architect based in Boston. I will walk you through my process of identifying different business processes and how I go about optimizing each step with AI. So let's dive in. So this is one of my most recent projects where, of course, I have altered some of the information here to protect the client confidentiality. But this is one of the marketing agency projects where we wanted to optimize their client onboarding process. And so first, I'm going to walk you through what was their current process that involved multiple departments to successfully onboard the client. So number one, when the client will initiate an inquiry, they will start with a discovery call. This is where they would get on a call with the customer to understand what are their expectations, and then they're trying to sell their services. And once client says, okay, yep, this looks great, I want to work with you guys, so that's when they would go and pass that information to the strategy and planning team, who would go and create proposals, and then it will be sent to the client for an approval. Now, this is where client will go and review and say, okay, well, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense. And they might have a follow-up call and say, hey, you know what, we included this, let's not include this, let's change this. And then they might have multiple follow-up calls before they settle on the proposal that would make sense. And then they would once the client would approve the proposal, it will then go to the legal department to basically trigger a contract. And they would send out a electronic contract to a client within a day or two after they approve or signs the contract. And then, once they sign the proposal. And once they get the contract, this is where they would go and review the contract. Once it's signed, then the finance team will trigger an invoice for an initial security deposit. Once the initial deposit has been paid, then it will go back to the finance department and they will go and record and make that accounts payable. And from there, they are actually creating a project within the system. I forgot to mention that in the flow, but long story short, this is where they trigger a client onboarding call. And once the client onboarding call has been done, is when they're doing a project kickoff meeting within the team internally. And that's when the project managers will go in and create a project plan and create different tasks that are associated to achieve the client's objective. Once the task has been executed is when it would be sent to the client for the approval. So from here to here, on an average, the process was about 3 weeks, and we cut it down into minutes. So let me walk you through how I did that. So number one, this needs assessment part. Once the discovery call is done, once they're sold on your business idea or your services, now the next part is to extract information, right? So at this point, the client has been sent to a website where they are going to enter the information about their project and how they see the project. Now, I understand the client may not be the technical person to speak in a language that marketing team would understand, and this is where the power of AI would come in. So as clients are entering just a generic information of what and how they see their brand, their product, how they're looking at the marketing, how they want to do marketing, behind the scene, AI is taking all that information and expanding into a very nice technical document that would help their marketing team to be worked on. Based on that, we have programmed a specific AI model to be able to identify how many tasks it will require to complete and meet their objectives. And from those tasks, we have also programmed the AI to calculate the number of hours it will take based on the historical data. And from there, we have also tied a number of the hourly rate it will charge for that task. So for example, the task comes social media post 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. It's going to take 5 hours a week. It will then go and say, okay, the hourly rate is $100. That's going to be $500. Blog post is going to take 20 hours times 100, whatever that is, and then they would put that into a calculation. And all that information, while client is putting in behind the scene, AI is running it as the flow continues. And once clients are done entering in the information that has been required by the app, AI will generate a proposal right then and there, present to the client, and client can go and say, okay, well, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, let me add this, let me remove this, and then they will go and make modifications to the proposal that would best fit them, of course, by keeping the company's the guidelines and principles that they have defined on what they would require to be as a minimum proposal. So once that client have agreed upon the proposal, client will hit, okay, yep, this is how I want to do it, start my project. Once clients hits to start my project, it will then generate a legal contract with AI. And of course, that AI was trained with the type of contract that company wanted to be. So we feed that AI the type of contract that they would like to see, but with the dynamic data, it will draft the contract between the client and the company for their electronic signature. Once the electronic signature has been captured, then there's a UI that would be triggered to collect the payment for the security deposit. Once the security deposit has been collected, they were using QuickBooks. So we had a webhooks that would trigger a QuickBooks and creates an accounts payable. And from there, whatever information we have captured, the UI will create a project plan. An AI will create a project plan, and there would be a UI behind the scene for the team to be able to identify, okay, here's the client's information. Here's the original data that client has provided. Here's what AI has generated. And looking at that, their team is going to go and check and say, okay, well, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense. They go and modify, edit, and from there, the task is created. So this whole process that I just explained was done in under 10 minutes. And that is the power of AI. So if you're interested in learning how I can help you optimize your business processes with AI, please feel free to reach out to me. You can either leave a comment down here or you can reach out to me at ab@agileffects.com. Thank you, and I wish you all the best with your business.